Hello, everyone. I'm Kim Jacobs, host of The Kim Jacobs Show, where we're bringing balance to the world one household at a time. Listen, we go live every weekday, Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I bring guests on that talk about their backstories, things that they've had to overcome to become who they are today. Many of them are balancing and juggling life, and they've become experts in different fields. So they're sharing tips with you to make your life just a little bit easier. Many times as a guest in the studio audience, you'll get a chance to walk away with a missing piece of the puzzle that might be missing in your life. Let's go on this journey together, and I look forward to seeing you Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on The Kim Jacobs Show. Welcome to The Kim Jacobs Show. I am so excited to have Maccabee Griffin here today. How are you?
I am wonderful. How are you?
Okay, y'all, you have no idea what kind of treat you're in for today. This man has a lot of different hats that he wears. Let me go ahead and just put this up here so you'll be able to see that he is a voiceover actor in addition to many other hats. Okay, so when we're talking today about creatively balancing our mental health is our topic. Maccabee Griffin is here, retired Army veteran, dad, voiceover actor, podcast host, and he also helps people create content and does a magnificent job at that. So listen, we're glad to have you here today.
Well, thank you for having me here. I appreciate it.
Now, I didn't go into every detail of your bio because there's so many things as you all strap your seatbelts on that you're going to get to hear from him being a retired Army vet, how that happened, and a lot that goes into the story and some things that really shifted in Maccabee's life to help him become who he was ultimately destined to become. So I cannot wait to see how all of this synergistically work together because they're totally different ends of the spectrum, way different ends, right? But it all came together some kind of way. So we're going to hear about that. Listen, where are you all that are in the virtual studio audience coming in from? Let us know where you're visiting in from, and we'll pop your name and your location up. And what do you hope to learn today when we're talking about creatively balancing our mental health? What is something that you personally would like to be able to learn? Put that in the comment section, and we'll do everything we can to get Maccabee to answer it while he's here during this hour. So Mackenzie, if you will, backstage, if you pop a few of the comments that may have come in so far, I would like to acknowledge people in the studio audience. Let's see who you are. All right, Dennis Spraggins, you're always first in your seat. I love it. You're a very faithful viewer. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here, Dennis. All right, you're from Minnesota. Can you believe it, Dennis? As much as you watch the Kim Jacobs Show, I didn't even know that. So welcome all the way from Minnesota. Jonathan, Alabama is in the house. Nikki says, I'm in Canada. Glad to have you, Nikki. All right. Listen, we're going to do this. We're going to take a quick commercial break. And I see you from Trinidad, Leah. Glad to have you. And what we're going to do, North Carolina's in the house as well. So listen, we're going to take a commercial break. And we're going to come right back and deep dive into this topic that is very important. Before we take the break, Mackenzie, let me say this too. According to some of the statistics from NAMI.org, and we'll put that in the link. Thank you so much. One of our team members, Cassandra, sends this over to us. 1 in 5 U.S. adults experience mental illness each year. 1 in 20 U.S. adults experience serious mental illness each year. 1 in 6 U.S. youth between the ages of 6 to 17 experience a mental health disorder each year. And 50% of all lifetime mental illnesses begin by the age of 14 years old. These are staggering statistics, Maccabee, isn't it?
And I agree with all of it too.
Isn't this unbelievable?
It is, but I look at it as, from being a parent, I understand completely how it is, especially from when we were young to now. And there is a whole lot more out there visibly just because a lot more people are talking about it. So I definitely see the reason why the percentages are up so much.
Interesting. So you think because more people are actually finally verbalizing what's happening behind the scenes, then now statistically it can be captured.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Excellent.
Especially because of that.
That's good to know.
Because I know when we were growing up, n- mental health was not talked about. It was more of an embarrassment than anything, or a
Yes.
shame. And majority of the time you were put into an asylum, or you were told
Right.
legally you had to go see a therapist because of something. And I know, for especially for people that are on the spectrum, uh, prior to the 60s, if you were any level of autism, you were thrown into the insane asylum and left there to rot. So until I
Wow.
think it was 1967 was when the last mental health ward was actually shut down specifically for autistic people.
Wow. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pop this up. This is the QR code. If you could screenshot that or hover your phone over it, it'll take you right where we did get these statistics. And I'm going to pop the link here. Thanks again, Cassandra, for sending this information in. So go ahead and make sure you screenshot that, or not screenshot it, but grab and hover over it. It'll take you to that. That's where we gathered all of the information that's being shared with you today. And do you realize too that the second, it says here, suicide is the second leading cause of death among people
Mhm,
aged 10 to 34?
mhm,
And there's so much more life to live. We don't know really what age people may pass away.
mhm.
I can speak personally since I have a 12-year-old that passed away. We never know what age, but to me, being 52 years old at this point, to have someone between the ages of 10 to 34 claim their lives is like, it's overwhelming to me to hear that, you know?
It is, but it's not uncommon, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Um, Again, it's mainly because of the fact that the numbers are rising because more people are actually talking about it and are more verbal about it. I know
Mm.
for me specifically, I was almost one of those statistics myself, and that was at a young age too. I think I was 16 when I tried 3 times.
Oh
Yeah,
my
3 times.
God.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what we're gonna pick up right when we come back from this commercial break. We're gonna hear Maccabee's experience and
Mhm,
being able to survive suicide attempts 3 times. We'll be right
mhm.
back. Wow.
It's not just another day, it's a brand new day, full of all the fun, love, and laughter you and your family create. Silver Shield Security understands feeling at home means feeling safe and happy. No credit checks, no contracts. We offer payment arrangements, and we'll even give you a free door camera. Find out how we can brighten your day even more at silvershield-security.com. Silver Shield Security.
All right, everyone, we're back here on the Kim Jacobs Show. We're talking with Maccabee Griffin, and he has a story to tell, one that's going to truly change your life. By the end of this broadcast, I can guarantee you, you're going to look at a few things differently.
Mhm.
Maccabee, you were getting ready to talk about the fact that you had attempted suicide 3 times at the age of 16. Talk to us about that.
Yes, so I was going through a hard time around that time. I was not really mentally right,
Right.
specifically. Uh, when I was younger, I think up to the age of 5, I was physically abused by my wife, or my mom. I can't say this. My dad's second wife,
Oh,
and I had everything from cigarette burns under my arm. I still have actually the hole right there too, actually. Um, I was at 2, she decided she wanted to throw me into the pool to quote unquote make me learn how to swim. Thankfully, I have a hillbilly mom that was right next to us that helped take care of me while my dad was at work. And she got me out of there, and she basically said, "You ever touch him again, I swear to God, I will kill you."
wow.
Yeah, but even through all of that, being really known as the only black kid in an entire county for a very long time, There were many times where people would always tell you, "Oh, you're not black. You are just a white guy, a well-tanned white guy, because you don't speak the same way. You don't wear the same clothes. You don't do this. You don't do that." And I even tried to do it, whatever society's viewpoint of what made a black
Right.
man black. And it just didn't work for me because it wasn't me. And to be honest, after that, it was the idea of just going to um, going to a different school. And even though I knew some people there, it still didn't feel the same in some
Okay.
ways. So I found that theater was my way of escaping from
Mm.
that anxiety, that depression,
That's
um,
good. Okay.
and just being able to play somebody else helped.
Interesting. So you literally went towards theater because you were trying to get away from your own reality.
And most of the time, it wasn't. Most of the time, yes, and most of the time, no. It just
Okay.
depended on what I was feeling at that moment. But I would definitely say I've always had a love for being on stage. You know, I grew up in the church where I started singing when I was 6. You know, I
Mm.
started acting when I was 14 for summer stock and doing things like that. And so it was my way of really being able to put my imagination in the right way instead of the darker way.
So
Don't get me wrong.
did that come about after your suicide attempts?
Um, it came before and after. I had some really good friends that showed me that I would have been missed, and they would have been really heartbroken.
Oh,
And I'm at that point still in my life where I still fight it every single day. It hasn't gone away. I just
okay.
know what to look for in my life when I get to that point. So now I have a wonderful wife, I have wonderful kids, and a new sister that I didn't even know I did have, just recently in my life. So, you know, there's a lot of things that keep me going each day just to see what God gives me.
That's good. Okay. So you ultimately got inspired by knowing that you would be missed. How did these friends come about getting that information to you in the midst of you considering suicide? Because it's kind of that's nice when people say that, but typically it's after the fact. Oh my gosh, I really miss that person. I wish I could have shared my thoughts and my sentiments with them. But in your case, these people were able to get to you because obviously the suicide attempts didn't work, you know?
Well, the last one was one that was really, um, more of a disguised suicide. Um, I had wrecked my vehicle. I almost killed both my friends at that time, and
Oh.
I just went into run mode, and I just didn't want to be around. So I took a belt, put it around a tree, and jumped. Thankfully, something pushed me up to get it off my throat, and I just ran. And I believe at that time there was a house, and the first words came out of me is, "They're coming after me." And so police got involved and everything. And so for a while there, it was like people were after me. People heard about this again, and that's when a lot of people, because I still had the belt scar around my throat every day, and so people really truly showed their love for me at that time. I remember when I went uh, into one of the choir rooms at that time. I think it was a sophomore at that time.
Okay.
And a friend of mine, her name is Ann Helms, she literally came up to me and gave me a huge hug and said, "I am so sorry this happened to you, and I would have missed you so much." And
Wow.
that was one of the first points. And then just other people just over time kept on doing the same thing. So it just made me just look at life in a different light.
I am so grateful for all of the people that you're talking about
Mhm,
that they didn't make it obvious that, hey, we see, we see the marks, but
mhm.
they took the time to be a part of like that whole embracing you
Yeah.
and letting you know that you're valuable and that you're somebody. I commend my son too, Gabriel. He went to great extremes to do that when he was only 12 years old, but he was 5'10", a giant in the land. And he would
Yeah.
tell everyone that they were so special. He actually learned sign language to be able to teach a person, to be able to communicate with a person that was being transferred to his school. And people were like kind of shunning him because nobody could communicate with him.
Right.
My son Gabriel self-taught himself sign language so that he could welcome the child to the school. And that child, after Gabriel passed, wrote on Gabe's guest book that your son was the only one that embraced me. And that makes a difference because that can cause somebody to claim their lives, to not feel like they're welcomed in the school environment. And,
absolutely.
And you survived. So I'm grateful.
Yeah.
Grateful.
I am too. Trust me, I am too.
Very grateful for your friends. Listen, there is a new suicide hotline number in the United States, and that's 988. It's available 24 hours a day. So you can be anonymous, just get the help. And I know I have people that are watching globally. And so anywhere that you are located, make sure you immediately today identify your local suicide hotline number and don't take it for granted that the help is there and available for you. And people are eager to be able to get you to the other side of your thinking and how to be able to keep you here on this earth, because all of you are valuable. Every single person on this earth is needed in some way by somebody. So never don't feel like you don't matter. We all matter. All right. So Maccabee, what else do you want to say pertaining to that piece of your life? Because I want to make sure that before we transition, I give you a chance to say anything else.
Oh man, it's, to be honest, it has helped me to really understand what mental health is in my life. You know, I still deal with a variety of different things. It's basically evolved into other things, but in terms of mental health, I found out when I was in the military that I had what's called dysthymia, which is a long-term depression. And I put it off for years and years because I didn't feel, one, didn't have enough money, and two, I was too young to have, my insurance was really high at that time. So I really didn't go find the help that I needed at that time. And I went through tons of different medications, got on one that works, and I still continue to take today. But yeah, I always tell people the exact same thing. If you're hurting, tell somebody, talk to somebody. I don't care if it is the bartender. I don't care if it is your local church. I don't care if you believe or not. Go to a church. A pastor is there. They are trained in talking to you about mental health.
That's good.
There's all kinds of places. There's so many places. Call the number, talk to your friends, talk to your family, tell them exactly what you're going through. And if they don't want to listen, find someone else. Heck, I've got my website. You can go on there anytime and send me a message if you want to. I'll be happy to talk to you.
Excellent. And seriously, and I'll be happy to talk to you as well. And so on Inbox Messenger, you all have messaged me, you've emailed me, people have called me, video, like literally people on Inbox Messenger will call and I'll talk to people and I'm like, hi, how are you? How can I help you? And you just reach out. Yeah, and here's the website for Maccabee. It's beyondthepenpodcast.com, beyondthepenpodcast.com. Reach out to him. He has a customer contact sheet there and you can reach out to him and he will respond back to you as well. All right. So listen, today we are talking with Maccabee Griffin and we're talking about how to creatively balance your mental health. So from a creativity perspective, Maccabee, I would like to hear what do you mean by that? Because I know when we talked about what the topic should be, you said creatively balancing mental health. Well, I was like, okay, well, how do you creatively balance mental health? So please.
you have to be creative in terms of, you know yourself better than anybody else.
Yes.
You may not have a title or a label for something, but you still know what things make you happy, what things don't make you happy. And you have to be creative in terms of how you develop the ones that make you happy. You know, if it's something that, if you like going exercising, you know, going to the gym or just running or just walk, just go out for a walk.
Right.
Starting out slowly on literally everything and anything, giving yourself an excuse to do something instead of not to do something. Tell yourself that I'm going to get up this morning to do this, even if it's just to make your bed. Trust me, I still find it hard sometimes just to say that alone.
And you
But
know
by
what?
the end of
I was going to say
but by
that's
the
a
end of the
big
day-
accomplishment for me.
Yeah.
Let me interject for a second, only to
Yeah.
say that I literally fight. I get up and I'm like, Kim, turn around, make the bed, and that's my first goal that I feel like I've gotten accomplished for the day. And
Mhm.
it's a big deal because it's not easy to just get up and just make the bed, but I
It
do
isn't.
it. And every day I feel like, whoop, first check off the list, whoop, you know. So go ahead.
Well, yeah, and that's one of the biggest things. Like, if you can say you did at least one thing that day, even if it was just making your bed, then your next goal is to hit 2 things a day and 3 things a day. And just being creative in the way that you say, okay, I'm going to get up and I'm going to make my bed. I'm going to get up and then make my bed and then do the dishes, or I'm going to make my bed and vacuum for the day, or whatever the case may be. But you have to be creative enough for yourself to understand what's going to move you to do those things and to not do it.
That's good. Good advice that we're receiving from Maccabee Griffin right here on the Kim Jacobs Show. Let me tell you a couple of ways you can stay connected with me as well. Let me pop it up for you. Here you go. Everybody, make sure that you have hopefully screenshot that, because people do want to know, how can we stay connected with you, Kim, as well? And that's how you can do it. Okay. Maccabee, I love how you're putting it in perspective that we all know what we like. We know what we enjoy. So let's focus on doing some of those things more. For me, I enjoy going to the movies. That's a big deal to me. And sometimes people in my family don't always want to go see the movies that I want to see. And I'm like, what? I'm forever at a Marvel movie. I go to every Marvel movie that exists, but you don't want to go see whatever it is that I want to see. And so I've learned to just go by myself. I'll order me some popcorn and a drink and sit there and enjoy the movie like I have a whole row of folks, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah, great time.
Yeah, absolutely. And for me, one of my passions is to write stories, create characters for people, create narratives or whatever it may be. And for the longest time, I thought, you know, it's just something as a hobby or anything like that. And then out of all the things, you know, Dungeons and Dragons actually got me into it more.
Oh,
You know,
I can't wait. Okay.
Oh,
You
yeah.
cannot wait. You know how Joe Pesci say, okay. Do not go ahead yet. Because you guys, listen, the second half of this broadcast, we're going to have so much fun and get to hear some voiceover stuff that Maccabee is doing. But before we do that, I want to hear about you being a retired Army veteran. And so, and how that happened. I know in 2015, something specifically happened and you came into retirement. So I want to hear about that after the commercial break. But some people have been commenting on the first half of our discussion regarding suicide and the fact that some people feel like people really don't care. So I want to go to the virtual studio audience comments for a second. And Mackenzie, if you pop those up from backstage, I'd appreciate it. And we're going to give Maccabee a chance to just talk through some of these concerns that you all have. And I need my glasses for this. Sorry. Okay. Let's see. Diane Ford says, mental health is a major concern for me, and mental health runs in my family. 2 of my nieces and nephews have autism. Have any thoughts pertaining to that? Now, he's not a medical physician,
No,
and neither am I. So
not by
please
any.
seek mental health from
Yes.
a certified mental health therapist or a
Mhm.
certified physician that deals with mental health. These are just simply things that Mark Maccabee is sharing that's worked for him. Okay, go ahead,
Yeah.
Maccabee.
So, in regards to mental health running in your family, yes, it is a huge thing. And generational trauma is something that is one of the centerpieces to the mental health that continues through our legacies. So, I would definitely say one, make sure that if you do have something that's happened, or if you feel like there is something like I said, for me, I was physically abused when I was young. So over time, I have taken that idea and saying, one, I am never going to do that to anybody, period. I'm never going to let it happen to anybody else.
Oh,
I'm very protective when it comes to children. I am really protective when it comes to my own siblings and anything of that nature. So for me, it has actually changed the way that I think about stuff. In regards to the autism, yeah, unfortunately, autism is a genetic thing. It is not anything outside of that. But here's the great thing about autism. Autistic children and adults look at things in an entirely different
yes.
way. And when you see the simplicity of how they do it and why they ask the questions that they do, yes, it can really, trust me, it can be really
Right.
stressful and annoying sometimes, because you're trying to get them to say the same things, or you're a broken record many times. But it is definitely something that it's not a curse, it's a blessing, because they're
Yes, it is.
showing you everything from a innocent point of view,
That's right.
from your child's point of view.
I love your answer. Thank you. Thank you for your question, Diane. Let's go to some other. Okay. Linda says, "Good morning, Queen Kim." Hey, Linda, how are you? And wonderful guest, Army veteran and Mackenzie. Also, they said, "Hey, thank you too, Mackenzie backstage. We appreciate your service. Greetings from Seattle." Thank you so much for being here today, Linda. And I also, let me go for 1 second, Mackenzie. I'm going to pop a comment up too that Linda also said, and then we'll go back to yours. Linda said, "Thank you, Sir Maccabee Griffin, for sharing your candid and powerful testimony. This interview will help many people. Much thanks to and gratitude for your service. Being a daughter of an Army veteran, father, what is this? Daughter
Father
of
and two
Army
uncles.
veterans. Okay.
Mhm.
Father and two uncles. Love your story of using your vocal gift through voiceover work. You're going to really love it after you hear it some more, Linda."
Oh yeah, trust me,
Okay.
you definitely will. You got to
Awesome,
stick
from
around.
Seattle. So, all right. Glad to have you, Linda. Let's see who else. Mackenzie, pop the comment up. Knowledge is power, Dennis says. Yes, it is.
Uh-huh.
And that's
Yes.
why Maccabee's here today on the Kim Jacobs Show, talking about the knowledge that he had from his past experience and how it can help you become better mentally as well from his
Uh-huh.
perspective. Thank you for your transparency, Sean says. And she said, "This is so important." Thank you, Sean, for being here today. Angeline said, "Good morning. Glad to have you, Angeline." Oka,
Good morning.
Go back to Oka for a second. Mackenzie says, "Good afternoon from here. Thumbs up." All right. Thumbs up, Oka. All right. Much love, King Maccabee Griffin, Dennis says. Life is a never ending learning experience. Any thoughts on that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I learn. I'm 42 years old and I still learn every single day at least something. I
Yes.
don't care if it's, and that's another thing that helps too, is that if you have a focus on something, like a goal for me is to learn at least one new thing a day. And it doesn't matter if it's from history. It doesn't matter if it's literature, or for my kids, or something, whatever God sends me. I try to make sure I learn at least one thing that day that I can
Good.
continue to move forward with.
Excellent. Excellent. I see a life. Okay, so go to the next comment and let's go to maybe one or two more. Let's see. Everyone believes in something, even if it's nothing. It's what I've come to
True.
realize. That's a good point, Dennis. Very
That's
good
true.
point.
Yeah.
It's true. Okay, men's mental health matters. Trenton
Mhm.
Rhodes said, and Trenton is actually Mackenzie, who works backstage. This is her husband making this comment that men's
Aw.
mental health matters. Any
Yeah.
thoughts on that?
Yeah, absolutely. We mental health in general, it doesn't matter if you're a man, a woman, a child, it does not matter. I don't care if you're LGBTQ plus, I don't care if you're atheist, I don't care whatever your belief is
Right.
or your lifestyle is, I could care less. You're a human, I'm a human, let's help each other out.
Yeah.
It's simple. It's completely simple. And yes, unfortunately for men's health, we still have that mentality in our society that is coming down slowly over time,
Right.
but it is the point of men still believe that we shouldn't share our feelings. We shouldn't tell people exactly what we're going through, what's going on in our head, because we feel um, that pain, that pride is keeping us out of the conversation.
That's good. Good conversation. See, only a man can say that to any of the male viewers. That's why I bring some men here on the Kim Jacobs
Mhm.
Show as we bring balance to the world, one household at a time, one heart at a
Yeah.
time, is because of situations like this. Nikki says, can you talk for a second about the connection between the heart and the mind?
Oh man, there's so many things that you could.
Great question, Nikki.
Yeah, exactly. Great question. I was looking at that. I was like, how could I talk about that? And honestly, for me specifically, I find that if you have a passion for something and you have a gift for something and you love doing that,
Yes.
then you need to share it.
Good.
So you're bringing all your passion from your heart. You're learning more about that craft. So you're helping with the heart and mind right there. And then you're also sharing it with other people. In some ways, this is how, and I'll get into this later on in another part of this, but this is why I'm doing what I'm doing right now. One of the many reasons why I am. And I have a passion for it and I love doing it.
That's good. Very good. I actually am grateful that you're taking the time to say this because we all have a passion. We
Mhm.
all have a story to tell. We may not know how to tell the story, and
Mhm.
we may not have the proper training to tell the story yet, but we all have a story. We all have people that follow us that want to hear from us, but they don't know how to even begin to share that gift or that talent.
Mhm.
As we take a quick break here, I'm going to give you one of the things that you can do, and I'll share with you how I personally can train you to do this. And this is being able to start your own talk show from scratch. Everything that I've learned from being on PBS, the Word Network, being one of the experts at a local NBC affiliate, having Coca-Cola sponsor and send me out to do balance makeovers for families, filming at the old Jim and Tammy Faye Baker studio. Listen, I have been able to, over the course of the 13 years of doing that piece of my life, in addition to traveling the country with Les Brown, and I did that when in my early 20s, 24 years, like over 28 years ago. There's been a lot of stuff that I've learned. I can pour that into you to help you be able to start your own show from scratch. And so when we come back, we'll come back to hear more from Maccabee Griffin, but I'm going to play this for a brief moment with you all now. We'll be right back. Wait a minute, Mackenzie. Kim Jacobs, the host of the Kim Jacobs Show, and you all know who's right here with me, Dr. Les Brown. How are you, Dr. Brown?
I'm blessed and highly favored. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a time you want to give yourself a competitive edge. If you got a message, you have some knowledge or experience, a story, or if you want to do something adventurous and exciting with your life that can increase your credibility, expose you to millions of people, I'm encouraging you to have your own talk show. I used to have a talk show. That one talk show catapulted me to another level. Now there are more people watching the internet, as you are aware, than television.
Yes.
Come on, somebody.
That's right.
Dr. Kim Jacobs, she trained people on how to have their own talk show. She will train you how to do that. And now with me working, partnering with her, now you have the combination of an audience, expansive audience. We have over 4 million people in all of our platforms, and the coaching you need to grow your business, to grow your multi-level marketing organization, to draw more attention to yourself in this noisy economy. Go ahead, Kim.
So in the training that I do, Les, I actually do a 6-week training. It's 1 hour per week. And each week I meet with the individuals one-on-one. We go through and we talk about all of the things that's necessary for a show to become a reality. We go from how to actually identify your focus area, what's going to be your ideal customer that's going to be tuning in. We'll talk about how to get guests, how to get sponsorship, how to go about getting your lighting, your branding, and your banners, and everything that you need to know. And guess what, Les? They own their own content at the end of the day.
And that's exciting. Now, if you're ready to create a shift in your business and in your life and increase your cash flow, I want you to go to KimJacobsConsulting.com. It's right there on the screen, KimJacobsConsulting.com. You know, people say opportunity knocks on every door. Right. No, opportunity stands by silently waiting for you to recognize it. So I want you to recognize that this is a time for you. This is an incredible time to have your own talk show. It establishes a level of credibility.
Yes.
And by being exposed to people on a regular basis, it allows you to strategically begin to impact and attract your audience. She can take you in a place in yourself that you can't go by yourself. So go to KimJacobsConsulting.com. That's KimJacobsConsulting.com. Did I say KimJacobsConsulting.com? Yes, you did. Very good. Make sure you go there and sign up for the coaching, and we're looking forward to working with you. You have something special. You have greatness within you. That's my story, and that's Kim's story, and we're sticking to it. Bye for now.
Bye-bye. All right.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay. So bye for now, everybody. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it, too. Listen, Maccabee, so when you transitioned, you were in the military. This is a very important point, everybody, okay? So you were in the military. You were in the Army. And let's talk about how that experience was fighting in the military on behalf of our country, something much bigger than yourself. Talk to us about that.
Oh, wow. Where to begin? The beginning. The beginning is always the start.
I thank you, though, and everybody thanks you. Please put lots of thanks for the service that Maccabee Griffin gave to our country here in the United States anyway. Make sure
I appreciate that. So the reason why the first thing that got me into the military was my family. My dad was a Vietnam vet. My brother was in the Air Force. My oldest brother was in the Air Force. My uncle was in the Army. My great uncle was in World War II. So, and I have a few other relatives, and it was almost like a tradition. So I felt personally that I needed to keep that tradition alive.
Wow.
At least to continue it, at least for me.
Okay.
During the time that I started, I wanted to go right after 9/11 hit, like a lot of other people, but unfortunately they didn't think that I was stable enough.
Because of some of them.
Exactly. So they also stated that I was, and this is the Air Force talking, by the way, and this was back in 99, 2000, something like that. And they said that I was, and I quote this, legally insane with multiple personalities. And for some reason, and I was so stunned that the only thing I could say was, and I'm an actor. How do you think I get my characters? He really didn't like that answer.
No.
So,
I'm thinking that is definitely not the answer that we're looking for.
I know it wasn't, but it came out. But I had to wait until I think I came in February 22nd of 2005.
Okay.
Is when I took my oath. I went in as a reservist for about 6-7 months and then went active after that. And my first deployment was not even 3 or 4 months out once I got to my first unit.
Okay.
And I went to Iraq in 2006, 2007. We got extended the last month that we were actually supposed to be leaving. We were actually packing everything up and going. But unfortunately, we found out through MSNBC before even anybody else. And it was very disturbing that way. But I got to actually ask General Petraeus himself at a luncheon that we had on the base and saying, sir, is this true? Are we being extended? He said, yes. And you're also being moved as well. So, yeah. So we had to pack. We were going to pack everything up anyways, but now we had to change from up by Talafar all the way down to Kirkuk, which is in the middle of Iraq. And then I got transitioned into another area called Bernstein at that time, which was just an airfield and some bunkers. And that was it. And we had to build that entire thing up for another unit to come in.
Wow.
And then got back. And what's funny is that my oldest was actually born the day I was supposed to come back from R&R. And so they actually told me that I was considered AWOL because I was still at the hospital holding my son.
Oh my goodness.
Even though the Rear D commander actually told him, hey, you're extended for 5 days. After that, you got to come back. But no one got that word to the
somebody didn't get the memo.
Yeah, no one got the memo later on. They tried to actually court-martial me for that. It's it. It didn't go very far. It's like, this ain't happened because of this. Yeah, we were good. But there was a lot of things in that. You know, I'd gotten, being a supply clerk at that time, I did a lot of convoys to go get supplies at a different base to bring back. So there were plenty of times where we actually had IED hits on vehicles. I had one that was right in front of me, and I still have visions of it in my head sometimes of a entirely just the, what's the word I want to say? The wall of concrete, rock, dirt, and everything on this bridge, just not even 5 feet in front of me. It hit the vehicle right in front of us, but I still had to deal with it as well. Yeah. So there's a lot of things on that happened. And then, of course, we've had plenty of mortar attacks and stuff like that too.
Yeah, I'm getting anxious, and I know you're supposed to be anxious for nothing or whatever, but at the end of the day, I cannot imagine being right there on the front line in a vehicle right in front of me exploding, which means that someone's lives are gone from that situation, right?
Actually, thankfully, because of the fact that we had the up armor that we had on the vehicles, and this is a 5-ton vehicle.
Okay.
With upper armor on it, it was about almost 5.5 to 6 tons.
Right.
And it popped it up. This daisy train of mortar rounds. This mortar round was probably about, I would say, between 5.5 and 6 feet long. And they had them daisy chained to each other. And they had about 4 of them that went across this bridge. That blast actually shot that 5.5 ton vehicle up in the air at least 2 to 3 feet.
Wow.
Yeah.
And everyone survived?
Everyone survived. The worst they got is a dislocated shoulder, but that was it. But obviously, mentally, there's a lot of other things too. Yeah. But let me put it this way. We had one base that was called Mortaritaville. Wow. Just because of how many freaking mortar attacks we had. Wow. Yeah. A lot of PSTD. I can't say it. PTSD. Thank you. There you go.
Right. And I see Leah says that PTSD affects her as well. And how does PTSD, from your perspective, affect the people that are coming back home and their families have to try to help them through This new
Every
phase.
Yeah, every soldier is different. Every airman, Marine, sailor, Coast Guard, it doesn't matter. We all have something that's happened to us. And we all deal with it differently. You know, mine specifically is called psychogenic non-epileptic seizures. So when my mind, not my brain, my mind sees that it's in a stressful situation,
Yes.
I have muscle spasms, and they can last anywhere from a couple seconds to I've had it up to 8 hours straight before.
And do you get any kind of indication that this is getting ready to happen to you so that you can kind of like seek cover or get into a
You
better
have
position?
you have a feeling of almost like a weight. It's like almost somebody putting a blanket on you. And after that, it's like, okay, I know that I'm about to have something, or I will have a slight twitch in my finger,
Mm.
or I will lose my speech. I'll start to stutter, or I can't talk at all. My eyes will blink so much that I have to keep them closed.
Wow.
I have to, for me, I have to literally go take a nap for 2 to 3 hours just to reset my brain.
But your family knows this, and
Yes.
people
Oh
are
yeah.
people rallying to support you to make sure do they see something sometimes that maybe you don't know that it's getting ready to happen, but maybe a family member sees it and it's like you need to go and relax. And do you kind of follow what they're saying?
I try to.
Oh,
I'm a very stubborn man sometimes. I have been told multiple times that you need to go lay down by my wife or my sister, to the point of like they're almost getting up to take me over there. I'm stubborn because of the fact that I don't like how it tries to take over my life,
that's interesting. Yeah.
because I don't want it to. It's something, a part of me, but it doesn't mean that it is me.
That's good.
So
That's good. I get it.
it is just a part of me. So I have to deal with it in certain ways. And sometimes it literally is just dealing with it, continuing on, and then just getting out of it and dealing
That's
with it
good.
and just
But
continuing on.
I would like for you to make a public declaration today here on the Tim Jacobs Show while I have you here. Okay.
Mhm.
Let's see what you're gonna say to let me put something up here that so you can go ahead and say, is this your who is this here?
Oh yeah. That's a very old one, but that is me, my wife of almost 18 years, and my oldest. He was, I believe, 6 at that time.
Okay, and here.
Oh, my wife was going to kill me if she ever sees this. That is my youngest, Alexander. My oldest is
Adorable,
Jackson.
adorable.
Yeah, no,
Let's see.
that's my oldest. That's Jackson now. That was a couple of months ago.
What's his name?
Jackson.
Jackson's gonna get you too.
Oh no, trust me, he's as bad as I am, to be honest.
Okay.
That is
And
me and
that
my wife. Yeah, we went
okay,
to
so I want to stop here at this photo for a minute so
mhm.
that you can publicly say something to your wife when what's her name again?
Angela Griffin.
Okay, so Angela, you'll thank me later. You can, definitely remember I put this on blast for you. What do you want to say to your wife when she tells you, when
Oh
Angela
man.
says, honey, it's time for you to go and take a break? And she may see a twitching of your eye. She may see something that maybe you just don't see, but she has your best interest at heart. What would you like to say to Angela today?
Keep doing what you're doing, and I love you very much.
There you have it, Angela. Bravo. Bravo.
Oh
Listen.
man.
No, seriously, we need spouses that have our best interest at heart, that look out for us in our blind spots, things that
Yeah.
may not be seen by you. That's the whole point of the helpmate, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm grateful that God has blessed you with Angela and with your beautiful children to be
Oh
able
yeah. Yeah.
yeah. Okay. So I see a lot of comments that's been coming in, and people are saying blessings to you. Mackenzie, you might be able to pop some of those up for me if you don't mind. Let me see. I see blessings. Oh, PTSD affects me, Leah said.
Mhm.
And I see agreed by Leah as well. She agrees with everything you said. And good day, awesome family. Eugene says, thanks plenty, Maccabees. God bless your heart for all of your selfless sacrifices that you've made for the peace of your country and the people therein. Excellent. Thanks for your service, Sean Brinkley says. Giving you your flowers now. She wants to make sure you get your flowers now. George says, thank you so much and blessings to you. Amen. Kim Jacobs is the best. Oh,
take it. Take the flowers.
You know what, Dr. Shirley? I am working with her on something very special that's going to be coming out in the near future. I will not reveal it now, but I'm super excited and honored to be serving you in that capacity. So glad to have you on, Dr. Shirley. Okay. Anybody else? Outstanding and blessings to you. All right, listen, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, I want to hear about Great Rising to you, John, as well. Much love, Dr. Les Brown. I see all of your comments. Listen, when we come back after this commercial break, Maccabee Griffin is going to talk to us about, he was medically retired from the Army, and so he's now a retired, medically discharged Army veteran since 2015. And since that time, some pretty quirky things have happened in his life, and we're going to get to hear some of those samples. He is a voiceover actor, and Dungeons and Dragons changed his life. When we come back, we'll be right back after this break.
When someone has lost a loved one, they want to know what exactly happened. They want to know, is the other person going to be held responsible? And they want closure. At Hunter & Everett, we help clients that have lost a loved one move on, and to do that with dignity and respect that they deserve.
All right, and Maccabee Griffin, tell us how Dungeons and Dragons changed your life.
Oh, there's so many things, so many stories. So basically, after I got out of the military, I went to school for a little while. And for about a year, and I couldn't, because of the penis. I am so lucky I have the one mental health issue that spells out penis, like anybody else. PNES, psychogenic non-epileptic seizures.
That's not funny at all, but it's
funny, but
humor of it.
Let's put it out there. It's one of the funniest ones out there. Come on now.
I'm only laughing with you. I'm definitely not laughing at anything pertaining to epileptic seizures. That is
those things suck. They suck royally. Trust me. If you ever, the best way I've put it is that when I've had them for 8 hours long straight, it felt like I went on a marathon because it's like a full body.
And I can't even imagine, because you can't imagine what you don't know. So
I'm done for like 2 days straight. I'm like, don't touch me. Don't even look at me. Don't even breathe close to me. It's going to hurt. But Dungeons and Dragons is something that was brought into my life by a group of nerdy voice actors that sat around, rolled dice, and played Dungeons and Dragons. I'm talking about Critical Role. So these people are amazing people. They absolutely are. They took something that they loved, shared it with the world, and now they have their own business. Okay. And because of that, it was one of those things that really helped me get through when I was laid off. And I had to figure out what to do. So it was my coping mechanism was just, again, going back to the storytelling, going back to creating characters and just having fun, playing, just organically creating something real. Okay.
Very good.
And so when I got to a pharmaceutical company, I worked there for about 3 years. During that time, some friends and coworkers were interested in doing it. And so I decided, okay, I'll be the dungeon master and I will start to create this world, create these characters, create the stories for you all. And because of that, it just like really started to get me into wanting to get back into theater. I loved doing it.
That's back from your childhood days.
Back in my childhood, yeah.
So it took you all the way back to your first love.
Yeah.
Okay, honestly, go ahead. This is good.
So so my first love came back into my life, and it came to the point of, you know what, I need to do this. I need to become something more than just a 9-to-5 job. So why not, while I'm doing this, to learn how to be a voice actor?
Okay.
So I did my research, found a company that was going to help me, put the money down. Trust me, it was a lot of money. But it was a payment over time, obviously. But they helped me to really understand exactly what goes into voiceover, certain things, the niches that I can work with, and then teach me how to market myself, all these little tips and tricks, and getting the equipment I need too. So after I got laid off in 2020, I became a stay-at-home dad full time. My wife had just graduated from Ivy Tech and is now a radiation therapist. So she's my little cancer killer. I love her. I always tell her every time she goes out of school, make that cancer call your name or scream your name. Excuse me.
Go fight for all of the cancer survivors. They need you.
Absolutely. This is why I have an amazing wife. I do. And sometimes, yes, I am stupid. I am a man. I do take advantage of that, and I don't treat her the way she is. She should be. She's a queen. But she also
True confessions here on the Kim Jacobs
True
show.
confessions,
Not
yes.
that we're any kind of, I'm not behind the booth or anything, but he's just
no. Hey,
here.
You know what happened? It is what it is. I'm like every other man. It's just something that happens. Anyways, so when I decided to do this full time, I was, I'm a stay-at-home dad. I deal with my kids and get them out there. I do other projects. So why not do it? And sure enough, I've been able to do things like narrate a TV show for a company in England that it hasn't been put out yet. Unfortunately, it's been taken off, put back on, taken off so many times, but now they're actually negotiating 35 more episodes.
Oh, good. Now. Okay.
So I've been able to do character voices for a short animated film in Amsterdam. I've been able to do a lot of small commercials for mom and pop restaurants and stuff like that. I've been able to do a lot of things. I have now, because of God, because this is how God works. He evolves everything. I have a podcast that's called Beyond the Pen.
Yes.
And we bring on newly published or unknown authors to tell us about themselves, their book, and most importantly, the story behind the story. Because
I have to come on yours one day because guess what? I have 4 books.
Oh.
I don't know that too many people know about them, but I definitely have some bestsellers.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
Extreme Battles Makeover. This is how I fight my battles. I'm a collaborating author there. Rise Up, Women who Lead Building Legacy, and Women of War. I'm a collaborating author on all of those. And shoot, we need some people to know about these books.
Exactly. We want to know exactly everything about it. Let me ask you a question real quick.
Go ahead.
What is your writing kryptonite?
What is my writing kryptonite? Like, what breaks me down to want to write?
What is your weakness? What is your weakness when it comes to your writing?
My weakness is that I have so many things that I really want to get out. Like, if I show you right now, I have this binder and it is filled with my entire manuscript for another book that I've already written. But my kryptonite is that I really don't want to put it out until I feel like everything is in there. Is that other people's kryptonite?
There's a lot of different types of kryptonite. Some of them is distraction. Some of them I've got too many ideas and I can't narrow it down.
That's fine. That's it right there.
I had one woman actually say that her kryptonite was Disney movies. Disney movies, yes, out of everything. There's so many different things. That's one of the reasons why we asked that specific question.
Can I tell you one more kryptonite real quick? One big kryptonite is that I sometimes I already know the stories and everything that I want to put out there, but then sometimes I don't want to share a story yet because I'm not sure how it's going to impact the other person's version of what they say their story is. So I'm trying to be considerate, but I think my kryptonite is sometimes I'm being so considerate of somebody else's story that I don't always get my own out. Okay, now you done counsel me, Maccabee.
Yeah.
Get off this show. Get off.
On today's show, we are looking at exactly what goes through Kim Jacobs' mind.
Okay, I want to hear these voiceovers. Let me
Okay.
before we hear a couple as we prepare to close out. I do want you
Yes.
all to check out this podcast. How can they check it out? BeyondThePenPodcast.com. How
Yes.
and when can they check it out?
Oh man, there's so many places you can learn it. We are on over 45 different platforms worldwide, and I say worldwide because Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and many of the major ones don't hit certain areas of the world. So there's a variety of ones that we're hitting, like in the Mediterranean area. We're hitting in places in Africa specifically. There's plenty of places in Denmark, on the Spanish-speaking cultures, German-speaking cultures, all variety of different places. But we always suggest please go to applepodcast.com and go there and just find Beyond the Pen. And we've got 39 tomorrow episodes up, and they're all different. We only ask certain questions, 5 questions to every author. Everything else is about the author and the book specifically. So they're all different. They're all great guests that we've had and future guests that are coming up. You can go to our website, beyondthepenpodcast.com, to see all the links and everything there, get some more information on the actual authors, their bio, their links, anything of that nature, which, by the way, is still being added. I'm still updating all their bios. And
okay, we have to. Yes is the answer. Before we close out today, and someone said here, Damara said, please, can you do one of the voiceovers? He's going to do 3 of the voiceovers right quick, and then we're going to close out today's episode, and we will be back tomorrow, and you'll be able to tune back in. All right, so let's go with character George Japar.
George Japar is very uptight. He's very, very noble in many ways, but there's a certain point where he is very, very dark, and he does not like people.
Oh, okay. Japar. I cannot wait to learn more about this character. Okay, Lamont. Let's hear about Lamont.
Lamont is something more like this. He's very happy-go-lucky. He's fun to have around. He's more towards the kids, but he loves to just take care of George. George is his boss, and Lamont is more of the motherly type.
The motherly type with that boy.
Well, Lamont is, think of him as the minion to George.
Okay.
And he's always doing his laundry. He's always taking care of, make sure he's cleaned up and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay, so he's the nurturer.
He's the nurturer. He's the mothering type to him.
To make sure that George is well cared for. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Drill Sergeant Rockwell. Tell us.
Well, he's very loud, very annoying sometimes because he's always wanting to actually get people's point of view across.
Okay.
I have to do drill sergeant sometimes just because Army, and I have friends that drill sergeants, so I know exactly how they sound and how they act.
Listen, everybody, you have been able to spend this. How did you find the voices? How long did it take you? Somebody wants to know. Real quick, answer it.
Okay, so a lot of the voices that I do are either inspired by something else. Like Lamont is inspired by oh my gosh, Stitch. So Ohana meets family.
Great question.
Ohana meets family. Yes. Oh yes, that was absolutely. That's always fun.
I love this.
But a lot of these other characters I've actually created backstories for. That's one of the other services that I do for my business, is that I help to create characters and their backstories, historical events, historical figures, mythology, myth, all that other stuff for authors. So there's a lot of things that go into them.
You can actually listen if you're in the virtual studio audience and you want to learn how to get your own alter ego, your own character created. You definitely want to go Beyond the Pen Podcast. Definitely check that out. That's his podcast. It's on Tuesdays, 45 different platforms.
5
But
a.m.
you
Eastern
need to
Standard
help
Time. Yep.
yourself, go to macgriffinvo.com and let him work with you. I think I need some character assistance. I'm already
Well,
doing that.
Well, we can definitely work with you on that one. It's very funny. I told you, this is why I am legally insane sometimes, because I have so many voices in my head. I have to have unions. So I have 3 reps that deal with all the other personalities in my head.
Oh my goodness. Okay, y'all, listen, we've had a wonderful episode. I want to continue the conversation with some of you that are a part of the Patreon. If you're not a part of our Patreon membership, make sure you go ahead and become a patron by going to patreon.com/The Kim Jacobs Show. Today is a national holiday, and because I'm not time stamping our videos right now, because they are streaming on a lot of different places in about 200-300 million households, I don't want to put the exact day of what it is. But at the after party, I'll talk about that. So make sure you go to the Patreon page, and we're going to talk about this national holiday and how you're making it work for you. All right. See you tomorrow, everyone. Maccabee, you are amazing. Have a great day.
Bye.
Hello, everyone. I'm Kim Jacobs, host of The Kim Jacobs Show, where we're bringing balance to the world, one household at a time. Listen, we go live every weekday, Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I bring guests on that talk about their backstories, things that they've had to overcome to become who they are today. Many of them are balancing and juggling life, and they've become experts in different fields. So they're sharing tips with you to make your life just a little bit easier. Many times as a guest in the studio audience, you'll get a chance to walk away with a missing piece of the puzzle that might be missing in your life. Let's go on this journey together, and I look forward to seeing you Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on The Kim Jacobs Show.